Good morning, children. So today we will continue the lesson 4, chemistry, atomic structure. In the previous class, I explained to you about the Bohr-Bury scheme, how the electrons are arranged in different shells. In the Bohr-Bury scheme, you have learned already that the electrons are arranged according to the formula 2n square, in which the first shell occupies 2 electrons, second shell occupies 8 electrons, third shell occupies 18 electrons, and fourth shell occupies 32 electrons, and so on according to the 2n square. This is explained actually in the Bohr-Bury scheme, and he explained that first shell 2 electrons can be present in the last shell, first shell. In the second shell 8 electron, third 18, and fourth 32, and so on. It goes on according to the 2n square. Today I will explain you how the structure of the different elements can be drawn according to the Bohr-Bury scheme. So first we take the example of the lithium atom. In the lithium, the atomic number of lithium is 3. So its electronic configuration will be 2 and 1. Means it will have 2 shells, that is K shell and L shell. So in the first shell 2 electrons it can occupy, and in the last shell, that is L shell, it can occupy 1 electron. So this will be the structure of the lithium atom, and here in the nucleus 3 protons will be present. So protons and neutrons, 3 neutrons are also there. So protons and neutrons are present in the nucleus, and in the first shell 2 electrons it will occupy, and in the last shell, that is the L shell, 1 electron. In the same way, we can draw the structure of the aluminium atom. In the aluminium, the number of electrons or proton, we can say its atomic number is 13. So its electronic configuration will be 283. 283 means first shell it will occupy 2 electron, second shell L will occupy 8 electron, and M shell will occupy 3 electron. So here also we can draw that the number of proton in the nucleus, it will be 13 protons, and the first shell means 2 electron it can occupy, in the second shell 8 electron, in the third shell 3 electrons. So in this way we can draw the structure of the aluminium atom. In the same way we can draw the structure of potassium also, but we should know if we want to draw any element, the structure, atomic structure, we should know their atomic number. So in the potassium, the atomic number is 19. So we have to arrange it in different shells, 2, 8, 18. Sorry, 2, 8, 8, 1. So here you also have studied about the octet rule, that in the last shell maximum 8 electron can be occupied, and whatever the remaining electrons, they can make new different shells. So in the potassium, actually it will be 289 according to the Bohr-Bury scheme, but according to the octet rule, the last shell can occupy only maximum 8 electron. So 1 electron which will be present here, it will be transferred to the next shell. So here we can draw the structure of the potassium element. So first shell 2 electrons will be there, in the second shell 8 electrons it will occupy, and in the third shell again 8 electrons it can occupy, and in the last shell, that is the K, L, M and N, means in the N shell it can occupy 1 electron. Means 1 electron can be transferred to the next shell. So in this way we can draw the structure of the potassium. So in the same way we can draw the structure of different atoms of different elements according to their atomic number and arrangement of the electrons in different shells. Now here we come to the valency. What is valency? Valency means number of electrons lost or gained. Lost or gained, or it can also be defined as combining capacity of an element. I will explain you how the valency can be derived by the lost number of electrons which is lost, or how many electrons they are gained. So we all know that metals always donate electron. So here the electrons are lost. Means metals will always have, that's why positive valency, and non-metals, they accept the electrons, or we can say the electrons are gained from the metals. So that's why non-metals always have negative valency. Here we can take the example of sodium. Sodium is a metal, and chlorine, if we take, chlorine is a non-metal. So how can we derive the valency of the different elements? So for that also, first we should know the atomic number. So atomic number of sodium is 11. So 11 means its electronic configuration will be 281. Means first shell shell will occupy 2 electron, L shell will occupy 8 electron, and M shell will occupy 1 electron. So here there are two ways to derive the valency. First way is that the large shell of metal will be its valency. तो लास्ट शेल में जो सोडियम का कितना नंबर ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन्स है 1, तो इसकी वैलेंसी होगी 1, और ये मेटल है इसलिए इसकी पॉजिटिव 1 वी कैन से +1. सो इट्स वैलेंसी विल बी +1. Another means for metal it's only one formula, that the large shell, how many electrons which are present in the large shell, that will be its valency. But in the non-metal, if we consider, then it can be derived by, not by the large shell, but by first let's take the example, then you can understand better. Like chlorine. Chlorine is a non-metal, its atomic number is 17 and its electronic configuration is 287. Means large shell, how many electrons are there? 7 electrons. So how can we calculate the valency of the non-metal? So simply what we have to do, we have to subtract the number of electrons in the large shell from 8. Means 8 minus 7. 7 is the large shell number of electrons. So 8 minus 7 means 1. So valency of chlorine will be 1. So simply it is very simple to derive the valency. For the metal, the number of electrons which are present in the large shell, that will be the valency. But in the non-metal, the number of electrons which are present in the large shell, we have to subtract it from 8, then we can get the valency. The same way oxygen atom, if we calculate, oxygen has atomic number 8. So its electronic configuration will be 2,6. 2,6 means last shell, it is having 6 electrons. So we simply subtract or minus from the 8. So 8 minus 6 means 2. The valency of the oxygen will be 2. So here one thing you have to keep in mind, that metals always have positive valency, like sodium. Sodium +1, if we take, valency will be +1, means it will always show positive valency, and non-metal always show negative valency. Now we come to the molecule. What is molecule? Molecule is the smallest particle of the matter capable of independent existence. Means it is the small matter, you all know, matter is anything which occupies space and has mass. So the smallest particle which are present in the matter which have independent existence, that is called molecule. Like sugar, if we take the example of the sugar, sugar is a compound, but sugar is made of 3 elements: carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. Means carbon is having independent existence, hydrogen is different element, and oxygen is different, but combination of these 3 forms the molecule, that sugar. The sugar is a compound, but the elements in which the sugar is sugar is composed of, so these elements, they have independent existence, and that is only called the molecule. Now we come to the chemical bond. What is chemical bond? Chemical bond means bond that keeps the 2 atoms together. Or we can say when the anions and cations combine together, or actually the chemical bond, they are two different elements, they are chemically combined together by some force of attraction, and that is only called chemical bond. So here the chemical bond is of 2 types, electrovalent bond and covalent bond. So in electrovalent bond, what happens? The electrons are transferred from one atom to another, or from metal to non-metal especially. And in covalent bond, what happens? There will be sharing of electrons. So transfer of electrons, just now I gave the example of the sodium chloride. Means if we take the example of sodium and chlorine, so sodium will have atomic number 11 and chlorine will have atomic number 17. So if we arrange in different shells, 281 and for the sodium atom and for chlorine 287, means the last shell of the sodium will have one electron, so one electron will be transferred to the chlorine atom to achieve the inert noble gas configuration. So here what happens, the sodium and chlorine will become stable and to form the sodium chloride, and the ions which are formed, that will be sodium Na plus, means it will form cation, and here chlorine will form anion. So combination of these anion and cation, they form only the covalent, that is ionic bond, and ionic bond is only called the electrovalent bond. And the second one is covalent bond. Covalent bond is formed by the sharing of electrons. Here the electrons are shared like two hydrogen atoms when they chemically combine together. So the electron of the one hydrogen atom will be shared with the another. So they form the covalent bond. And you have already studied about the ion. Ion is the charged particle. Just now I told you about cation and anion. Cation is always formed by the loss of electrons, and anion is formed by the gain of electrons. So this much is present in your lesson number 4, that is the atomic structure. Now you have to complete your exercise and question answer. After that your chapter is complete. Thank you.